crew is the most indispensable component of the armored fighting vehicles. No matter how sophisticated a tank may be, it only performs well if the crew controls it well. The average German tanks had a crew of 5: a driver, a gunner, a loader, a radio operator and machine gunner, and of course the tank commander, all working as one team, a single entity inside the tank. The commander would direct the movements of the tank, the gunner would aim and fire the main weapon, and the loader would be in charge of choosing and loading the correct ammunition, high explosive for enemy troops or armor-piercing for enemy tanks and armored fighting vehicles. The training was around 6 months depending on the current situation, the specific unit and the duty of the individual soldier. The drivers learn driving the vehicle in different terrain and situations. The gunners learn to handle the techniques of the gun, the aiming in different situations in theory and praxis, and assemble and disassemble the gun. The Panzer crew was usually a mixture of privates and junior NCO ranks. The commander was more likely to be a junior or senior sergeant equivalent. Panzer crews were indeed very well trained, perhaps the best trained of any nation at the time. Unlike the Allied armies, which saw the tank as an infantry support weapon, the German army used the tank as a spearhead weapon. German doctrine was based on quick, short, and decisive campaigns in which the experienced German soldiers defeat the enemy in a few weeks or months. This worked well in the early years of the conflict. The Blitzkrieg years saw panzers smash their way on any obstacle placed in their path. But the campaign against the Soviet Union was different. German crew training standards declined massively over the course of the war. Experienced crews were killed and captured and replaced with inexperienced ones who had, over decreasing time, fuel and equipment with which to train. Unlike the Red Army, the German army mostly lacked the ability to rapidly replace their losses with well-trained and experienced crewmen quickly. This resulted in them rushing their soldiers into combat before they had fully completed training, resulting in declining performance. The German war propaganda created mythical superheroes for the nation. A few and selected individual tank commanders and crews who received the best equipment and achieved results even in the later stages of the war. But the general situation was different. By mid-1944, the Allied achieved almost total control of the air. Rocket-armored fighter bombers prowled the skies looking for German tanks to hunt down and destroy them. Later photographs show panzers with camouflage and moving under the cover of the trees, or even better, under the cover of darkness, but rarely on open roads. Dotted around the various fronts, lack of fuel, spare parts and well-trained crews all played a part in reducing the effectiveness of the Panzerwaffe in the final days of the conflict. What did not change, however, was the dedication of the panzer crews who fought until the last moment. Although their once mighty panzer divisions was often reduced to a few operational tanks, a hardcore of veterans was still able to hold the enemy advance even in the last days of the war.